I'll just keep that.
Okay.
I won't stop that video.
Okay. But, okay.
All right.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to On That Note. I'm Brandon.
And I'm Calvin. Welcome back, everybody. Episode 2.
I can't believe it.
I know, exactly. It's been a crazy week. First of all, thank you all. Thank you all for all of the good reception.
Yes.
It seems like the people that are listening enjoy.
For sure.
So we really thank you all for that.
No doubt.
You know, without any further ado, do you want to get into it?
We can.
Okay.
We can, yes.
Okay. All right,
I just want to echo all of your sentiments.
Yeah.
But yeah, let's hop right into it. I think y'all may know how it go by now. We start with the While You Were Sleeping segment.
Right.
And so, based on the conversation we were having earlier, I think that you might have somebody that you want to kick us off with.
I absolutely do. So, I don't know if you all know who Tori Kelly is.
Love her.
Yes. Just God's gift, literally. She is like, I don't know. She's just a wonderful woman. So I've been watching her. She used to do YouTube videos. Yes. So she did covers and all of that. You know, she did duets with some other up and coming Instagram people in the early 2010s. Yeah. You know, maybe starting in like 2011, 2012. But since then, she's come out with 2 albums. She released the first one, Unbreakable Smile, in 2015. The one that she just came out with is called Hiding Place. It's a gospel album. As a matter of fact,
take us to church, Tori.
She co-wrote the album with Kirk Franklin.
Oh,
and I just found this out yesterday. He's never co-written with anyone else. All of his songs, at least as far as I know, 100% Kirk Franklin.
You ain't lying.
So,
oh my God,
this was a big deal for her. And it's an amazing album. It's 8 tracks, you know, maybe like 40 minutes or so. But, so part of this is because I just saw her in concert last night. Me and my best friend, like, we went all out. We did the whole VIP meet and greet and all that other stuff. And she's just like... No, she's just she's really sweet and very genuine, and you could tell there was a point in the show, because the album, you know, it's a good uplifting album, but it also talks about some very real things. And so there's a point in the show where she is talking to the crowd and she just says, you know, I really wish that I could sit down and have a conversation with each and every one of you and just talk about, like, our anxieties and, like, what we're going through. Because, you know, it's just hard right now and all of that. And you know that she means it when she says it.
Right.
But beyond that, there were just so many great moments from that show. But beyond that, she's just a great artist and has her voice is amazing. You know, it's just a ridiculous voice, the things that she's able to do. So... She does, and she sings down. So, Tori Kelly, Tori Kelly. Please. Yes, no. Kelly with a Y. Yeah, give her a listen. And I know that you'll enjoy it.
She's super dope. Yeah. It's funny because I do remember listening to her, like, when she first came out, and it's her popular song. I can't remember what the title is.
Okay.
Is it like Nobody Love?
Nobody Love, yeah.
Yes. I feel like she had an acoustic version of that.
She did.
I prefer the acoustic version of the studio. But
yeah. She did the acoustic version of the concert. So
oh my God. I gotta see her live.
Yeah.
Okay, dope. So get on Tori Kelly.
Yeah.
And so for this week, I actually want to put y'all on to someone who came up right here in the DMV in DC, Ari Lennox. Ari, I've probably known about her now for maybe about 2-3 years. Mm-hmm. She released an EP that it spelled like pho, like the food that people go and get.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't know if she pronounced it like that, but I would just take from that, you know, what I can. But really enjoyed it. My sister put me on that project. Okay. So I really, really enjoyed it. But she recently, maybe like within the last 2 or so months, released a new single called Whipped Cream.
Okay.
And that joint is...
Yeah, I did hear that. Yeah.
Like, that joint's got a nice little vibe to it. And so, continuing with the concert trend, I actually went to the Kiss Fest on Thursday night locally. and she ended up coming out on stage. Like, she wasn't somebody that I think they had announced ahead of time, but she came out and did that song. And she, I mean, she sounded great live, but I knew that because I also saw her live at Essence Festival last year.
Okay.
She was amazing there. So, you know, I always wanted to put people up onto like really dope singers, like really good singers. And because she's from DC, like of course, and she signed to Dreamville, so yeah, Ari Lennox, check her out, get into her. She been putting in work for a little bit now. All right. So now, I mean, I'm excited about this piece. So we got a little something we're inserting here because we got our first note. Yeah. So like, no, yeah, you know what I mean? That's dope. So before we get into the note, this is a great opportunity to remind you all to email us at write us a note. You spell everything like you're writing a sentence. Yeah. Write us a note at gmail.com. Questions about music, questions about us, things you want us to maybe get into in the future on the show. Leave the door open. We know when to close it. But yeah, go ahead and email us. So this week, Kevin asked, what is your all-time favorite boy band and girl group?
Okay. Man. I mean, girl group, easy Destiny's Child for me, personally.
Okay.
Boy band. I'm trying to think of a boy band that I follow, that I just, you know, really invested in. Yeah. Because I know, I mean, I think about maybe vocally. Boys to Men, just because I love Wanye's voice.
Oh my gosh. And those harmonies.
Yes.
Like,
and I think those are the albums that I may know the best of boy bands. I'm trying to think of other boy bands that I don't know.
I was about to say, so while you think,
go ahead.
I can definitely answer my male group first. I freaking love Jagged Edge.
Yeah, I was about to say, before you can get it out.
I was about to say, like, for you, anybody that knows me knows I love Jagged Edge. And that's from, like, the beginning to now. Like, of course, like, when their first album came out, I was still, like, maybe, like, 10 or 11. So I knew, like, the singles and stuff like that. But didn't really get into the full album. But their sophomore album, J.E. Heartbreak.
Yeah.
If you have not,
isn't Let's Get Married on that?
Let's Get Married.
Yeah.
Promise.
Yes.
He Can't Love You. Like, that album is stacked. Like, Jagged Edge. Don't be surprised if they come up again at some point. But yeah, I love Jagged Edge.
Okay.
Female group. That one is a little bit more difficult. I mean, like, there's a lot of other male groups. Like, I love Boyz II Men as well. Exactly. But female groups, it's, like, really tough. Like, if we're going to go based off of whose catalog, like, I readily know it can go through each project, it probably would be, like, a Destiny's Child.
Who else are you thinking about?
I'm thinking of TLC, but I'm, like, vocally... You know, I love TLC, but, like, you know what I mean? I ain't looking...
For different reasons.
Right. You know. But I'm also thinking about SWV because I love SWV.
I do love SWV, but I can 100% say I didn't follow them as well as I follow Destiny's Child.
And I think Destiny's Child, for us, we were there from the start to the finish. So yeah, that makes sense. Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks for that question, Kevin. Oh, did you...
No, I finished. I
said what I needed to say. Good.
I'll stick with Boyz II Men. Yeah.
So thank you so much for that question. Again, you all, we love getting questions. So please send them in to write us a note at gmail.com. Alrighty, so I think now we can transition into what's next.
Let's go to gossip, folks. Let's see what's been going on this week.
I ain't lying to you.
Yeah. So... one thing, I just saw a video clip this week that was super interesting. There was an interview with Queen Latifah, and somebody had brought up just female MCs, what's going on in the game right now. I don't know if, because you kind of see her answer, you don't see what the question was, but I don't know if there
Mm.
was a direct correlation between what's going on with Cardi B and Nicki right now. But um, what you see is her answer. And so
Okay.
what Queen Latifah says, she's talking, and she's talking about when she was in the game and how so many women were allowed to succeed and just how harmful it is to have this whole idea. She said, Queen is in my name, but I would never take away from another woman
Okay.
what she has, like her artistry, her craft, like try to dominate or be the only
Mm-hmm.
person running whatever it is that you're trying to run. Like, you don't have to do that, and there's
Right.
there's enough room for there's enough room for competition while also, I don't know, just keeping it to the music.
Yes,
You
that's
know?
exactly what I was thinking. I didn't want to jump in before you finish it.
Yeah.
But, the competition, like, leave that joint on the records.
Right.
Like, talk your shit, like, pop your stats, all that. But at the end of the day, I mean, especially with some of the music that some people making, I hope they're not living everything
Right.
that they rap or sing about.
Yeah.
Just me personally. But yeah, I mean, I think that, and that's the reason why Queen Latifah is loved and respected.
Exactly.
I mean, hell, and people still gonna give her just due on the hip hop side.
Right.
And she ain't released a rap album in maybe about 20 years.
Right.
So,
but she's just an icon in the industry, and so it's just like,
yeah.
the point of competition is to compete. So if you're constantly trying to knock everybody out, there is literally no competition.
Exactly.
So I don't see what's wrong with everybody just doing what they do, and you can talk I'm the best at it, I'm the best at it, I'm the best at it, but it's no point in being the best if you're the only one.
I mean, right, because it's like the best of what?
Right.
You know what I mean? And also just looking at the fact that, if you're gonna talk about it and be about it, right? Don't give us all this stuff about, oh, women in the industry, this, women in the industry, that, when you're perpetuating, like, male, like, patriarchal behavior. Like,
that might take us into another story.
It does. Well, do you want to go there right now?
Go.
So, sis, who should not be named.
Don't do that.
Nika.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, she put out. She said on Queen Radio earlier today that she would give anybody who could produce the footage of Ra Ali that got two-piece by Sky and Caesar Office. So that let us know what type of hand she had then. But that Ra Ali was the one who socked Cardi and put the knot on her head, and she ain't got to lie about it. She'll pay anybody $100,000 to produce the footage. So, of course, I did a big eye roll to that story because I just thought this is foolishness. But then my good sis, Belle Calise, Cephas, okay?
Yes,
I'm going to give you her whole name. I can't remember her middle name, but I'm going to just give you maiden and married. But my girl came back and says, you know what, I just got some shit on my chest and I'm bursting at my feelings, okay?
Yeah.
And so, but what I appreciated about Cardi's response, and please head on over to I Am Cardi B.
Yeah, before it's gone.
Okay, because Mama gave you receipts. And because of the manner in which she said it, I'll take a step back. A lot of things that, like, a lot of times when people say stuff and they're super, like, extra and give you theatrics, it's kind of like, I don't really know where the facts are in this tall tale, but because of how Cardi B is, because of how she speaks, it's not really too much room to cut corners to try to, like, put on or whatever. So I mean, she was just speaking plainly, and what I love that she started off with in her first of maybe about 9 clips is that she said, how you gonna go from saying you the victim and I acted like an animal, you were disgusted, you were mortified, to now you bigging your girl up saying she put a knot on my head.
Right.
Like,
which one is it?
Pick a side, a side. I mean,
violence and no violence.
Okay, yeah. To borrow Nicki's lyrics. So, I mean, I think that it's just, when you think about just the behavior that she's exhibiting currently, I think the behavior to which Queen Latifah spoke in that clip that
Right.
you were talking about, I think that it's definitely easy to see that somewhere along the way, um, the female rap game became, it was always like a level of male influence, male co-sign on
Right.
it, but it became male directed
Yes.
with Nicki Minaj
Yeah.
because I think she was willing to allow that in order to get to where she wanted to be.
Yeah. I think honestly, Cardi has been listening to some Aaliyah because she feels like we need a resolution.
Okay.
She said, because what she says in one of the videos is like, I am tired of talking about this. I'm tired of doing this over the internet. I'm tired of the subs. Honestly, I'm tired of the rapping. Like, we can either talk about this like adults or we can fight. And honestly, those seem like two great options to me. People feel like people for whatever reason feel like, you know, like y'all don't need to fight this, that, and the third. And sure,
right,
sure. But if you're not gonna talk about it, first of all, keep my name out of your mouth. If we're not gonna sit down and have a conversation, you know, if you're not willing to do that, the only other option I have
is to force you to keep my name out of your mouth.
You know, and so, and this is the second time we've talked about these two particular women. This is the second time I think that we've taken a particular side. Again,
this is only episode 2.
Right, we're 2 for 2.
Right.
But the thing about Nicki, again, Nicki needs to do right by Nicki. Nicki needs to stop, and this is part of what Cardi was saying in these videos. You know, if you're gonna be bad, if you're gonna be a queen, be a queen. Don't, you know, like, don't worry about me.
Exactly.
All I'm doing is doing my music. You know, like, what is...
Right.
You know, back up off me. Like, it's not that deep. So, with Nicki, I just feel like she's doing so much that she doesn't need to do because she's already proven herself. She's already, like, we have years and years of Nicki tracks and features and verses. And, you know, I still know all of Itty Bitty Piggy. And we'll, you know, like, rap it down.
The other night, and I definitely got my life.
Just do better.
Yeah.
Just do better. And that's, and we can leave it there.
Period.
But,
also, shout out to Cardi B because she done released some of them, like some of the clips. That Fashion Nova line is dropping in 2 weeks.
Go for it.
Mama said, "Get your coins, sis." I love it. I love it because that's what it's about, right? Like you get the opportunity to live out your dreams. You shouldn't let no petty bullshit get in your way.
And once you become a brand, you can do whatever you want. The world is your oyster.
Listen,
Cardi B could come out with, you know what I'm saying, some socks.
Okay.
And they would
sell out the first day.
Yeah.
Okay. Shit, there's so many things that Cardi B done released, and I'm trying to figure out how to add it to my collection, knowing damn well I don't shop at nobody's Fashion Nova, and I don't need no Tom Ford lipstick.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn. Y'all getting Cardi for Christmas. But just the last note on Cardi, Money. Have you listened to it?
I have.
What'd you think?
I like the music. I don't love the song, to be completely honest.
I feel you.
And here's the thing, and let's be even keeled, and kind of talk about Cardi for a second. Mm-hmm. I think what we need from Cardi right now is a break. I think that she's been giving us so much Cardi for so long that honestly I feel a little oversaturated. So this single to me felt unnecessary. And 2, it felt like it's kind of like what they're doing with Tiffany Haddish. Like, my God. Like, she's like, yes, the girl is funny, and I really appreciate, like, good for her, but she's in everything. She's in everything, you know? I mean, she's like...
Yeah.
And so Give Me a Chance to Miss You, I think, is my point. Like, if Cardi was to... If she took the fall or the winter off, and then came back harder maybe at the top of the year or whatever with a new album or with a new look, you know, just like a new era, you know, I feel like we're still living in the same, honestly, Bodak Yellow Cardi era. Like, she hasn't stopped, you know, and I need a break so that we can get a new era of Cardi.
Well, so I think when you think about, though, her output, because she hit, like, within probably a year and a half, she had the 2 mixtapes and the album drop.
Right.
So I think that, like, she's probably conditioned to go. Now I always thought that we were gonna get another Cardi project before the end of
Before,
the year.
okay.
Something just told me that that was gonna be the case, especially with her. And I think for her, probably in her mind, when she took that bit of maternity leave, it's like, okay, well, I done gave them the album. They've been streaming the album. They've been streaming the singles. I need to hit them with something fresh. So now I'm not still as sure if we're gonna get a full project before the end of the year.
Right.
But I do think that probably I wouldn't be shocked if we got something at the in the first quarter of 2019.
I do think that she needs to drop something else before she starts a tour.
And I think that that's why too, because I have this grand vision of a QC tour.
Okay.
Because it just makes sense.
It does make sense.
The one girl from City Girls, even though I, don't know how I feel about them, but the one girl get home in December.
Oh, really?
Yeah, she get home in December. By then, I'm also thinking that Takeoff and Offset's projects will be out.
Yeah. Her name's JT also.
There we go.
Yeah.
Thank you. All that was coming to mind was Risha, and I was like, no, I'm pretty sure that's not the one that's lined up. But, yeah, all three of the Migos, I think, will have released their solo projects probably before the end of this year.
Right.
If Cardi put out another project at the end of this year, at the top of next year, they kind of primed to do like a tour. And I think that people would buy tickets because I saw Cardi back in the spring. She wasn't doing all of Invasion of Privacy.
No, yeah. I saw her at Coachella, and she,
You know what I'm saying? Because she didn't do the whole album.
No.
Right.
That wasn't long enough.
She did like half the album one week, half the other week, or something like that. So I think and then with the Migos, I saw them over the summer with Drake, and they barely scratched the surface of Culture 2.
Right.
They didn't really do that whole album. So I think
but you like Money though?
So I like it for what it is. I think I like women talking big shit on records. Yeah. And I feel like she popping her shit, and I feel like she deserves to because she been working.
Right.
It's different than somebody's popping shit. It's like, okay, sis, you ain't really doing nothing, but all right. But I feel like she's been putting in the work, and so, pop your shit, do your thing. I think it's a good buzz single. I am ready to hear what follows.
Okay.
Because I just based on some of the snippets that you've been catching from stuff, like I feel like she got a lot of heat in the vault. Okay. So yeah.
Cool.
So, and yeah, Nikki, don't be offering people $100,000 if you still ain't gave my man his $25K that you promised him. But no. But on to more serious things. Something I did want to bring up, and I don't know how much time we really want to spend here, but I saw a video clip on Instagram today, and shout out to the Jasmine brand because I saw it there first. But I saw a clip where Orlando Brown, who was on That's So Raven, child actor, we all know him. We're all pretty caught up on where he is in life right about now. And I remember like maybe a little bit over a week ago hearing that he was going into rehab, and I was just like, thank you, God. Prayers do get answered. Just because it's never good to see people in the throes of addiction or, an illness.
Publicly.
Right. You know
it's
what I
hard
mean?
To watch.
It is. It really is. Especially somebody you like. We feel like we grew up with this dude. So I was like, okay, he's going into rehab. Hopefully he'll get himself together. Unfortunately, my questions were answered today when I saw this clip of him. And I don't know who the guy is that's filming him, but it's a guy filming him, and Orlando Brown has I think a bag in his hand. It didn't really look like he had shoes on his feet, maybe socks. He looks bad.
Yeah.
And the guy's just cussing him out, talking all sorts of shit about how dirty he looks and this, that, and the third. And I don't know, again, at one point, homie was wilding, on people and doing stuff that maybe could have caught him a couple of deserved left or right hooks. But I didn't necessarily... I don't know if that's the sort of backstory here. But even still, and more so... I think it goes, when I saw that video clip, it just brought to mind a lot of things that happen in our society where everybody loves to watch a train wreck, and
Yeah.
everybody loves, and with these smartphones, we're able to capture everything in real time, and then everybody want to be the first person to share it, so they got the scoop and this and the third, and all of that, in that very insidious post, like everything got to be a post on social media culture. Like a lot of times we forget about things like compassion and humanity. And my thing is, if this is someone that you know to be that close to them, then if you really feel a way about whatever it is that he's done, like you can have that conversation off camera.
Okay.
Like now, with you posting that, you're trying to embarrass this man,
Right.
and he doesn't need any help. I ain't even trying to be funny, but he don't need no help with that shit. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So just like it just really, and for me, it also brought me back to, I don't know if you're familiar with Maya Campbell. She was on In the House.
Yeah.
And remember, like a couple of years ago, when people kept on posting videos of her, and this, woman has a mental illness, a documented mental illness. And I'm saying whether a mental illness is documented or undocumented, that means that a person deserves more compassion than another. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's just like why? Why do we have to do that to people? You know what I'm saying?
I agree. It's not right.
It's not.
It's not right.
It's not. So
it's not right.
That's just my do with it what you will.
I mean, get well soon.
Right. I definitely because the thing about situations like that is you always hope that a person gets it together before they no longer have the opportunity to do so.
Right.
So yeah, definitely just shout out to him, and hopefully he gets some good people around him. He does some internal reflection, but a huge fuck you to anybody that think it's okay to post people in that state, to record them and post them and to talk shit to them. Yeah. Like that's not out of line.
Not okay.
So moving on, some other new music dropped. The Jeremiah Ty Dolla $ign album, which I've been excited about this whole time.
Yes.
And it did not disappoint.
Right.
I know that you said you're still trying to get into it.
I'm still working my way through it. Yeah. But I mean, I'm super excited about it. Yeah.
It's good. Mm-hmm. I've enjoyed it.
Right. So far, I've enjoyed it, but I'm ready to listen to the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't wait to hear your thoughts.
What are some of your thoughts, though?
Oh my gosh. So first, it's just interesting that, I mean, Jeremiah is one of those people that I never really thought had much of a voice, but he is able to do enough. And he makes like songs that people like. I really dig Ty Dolla $ign and his music.
Yeah.
And so he never disappoints. And so like hearing that they were working on a project together, I was like, But then when I heard The Light, I was like, okay, yeah, this about to be right.
I think they complement each other. Well, the thing is, so Ty Dolla $ign was on Jeremiah's album. He has a song called Impatient with Ty Dolla $ign. And that song, I love that song. So I knew that it was going to be something that...
worth listening to.
Yeah, worth listening to. Because like you said, I mean, with Jeremiah, he has one of those voices where it's like you know him by voice, but not because he's a great vocalist, Right. And so, I mean, I enjoy it. I enjoy listening to him, but I'm not expecting for him to, like, run all the way up and down a song. But Ty Dolla $ign is able to do that so effortlessly and in a way that, I don't know, there's just something about his voice that's almost addictive. Legit. It's like you just want to hear him sing the songs that he sings. So yeah, I'm excited to work my way through that album too.
Yes. So yeah, I'll get into a specific song that I really like on there later. Okay. But also just some other new music. My boo, Lil' Kim, has released a remix to her song Nasty One that came out over the summer. But she has like Stefflon Don, Cranium, and Hood Celebrity on there. Okay. So it's given that like that vibe, that kind of like Allen vibe to
like
it.
Afrobeat.
I mean, the song
I was
is kind
thinking
of
Cranium,
like
Cranium kind of like I feel like he's like an Afrobeat or something like that.
Yeah, so I mean, it was good. Personally, I mean, I'm glad that they all came together and did this, but I am ready for the Kim single where she reminds people like who the fuck she is.
Yeah.
Like,
and honestly, I feel like, and take from this what you will.
Mm-hmm.
I'm ready for that too because I don't think I've gotten that in the last few releases that she's done.
No,
Yeah.
no, and yeah, I'm just so Kim, out of my mouth to your ears. Hopefully, give us that. Give us that. I mean, she ain't even gotta go back to hardcore. Give me the Naked Truth flow.
Yeah.
Give me La Bella Mafia.
Yeah.
Like I will take it. And and then last but not least, in this segment for this week, it's that time of year that so many of us have come to know and love, Halloween. So, as you're considering putting together your costume, we just want to make a not so friendly public service announcement that blackface is not okay.
Not okay.
Making someone else's culture a costume is not okay.
It wasn't okay when Maggie Kelly was, a child 70 years ago. And it's not okay now.
Period.
And I don't understand why that's such an issue for people to I don't get it.
Why?
And I mean, but there are a lot of things that people don't understand that I will never quite grasp. But in case you did not know, it's not okay to do blackface. No. Just do something else. It's not so detrimental to your life that you have to wear blackface for Halloween. Just do something else.
It's really not.
And the same thing with cultural costumes. Just, I think that Tiana Taylor this past weekend dressed up as Katana from the fighting games or whatever. That's fine. That's a character. Yeah. Right, exactly. But it's like, what? Go ahead.
Okay, so on that point, I've noticed that there has been more white outrage at a black person being casted as a fictional character than the thought of people dressing up as black people, as Native American, as Latinx. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you get upset about somebody being casted as a fictional person?
A black boy playing like Wally West on The Flash. But Scarlett Johansson gonna be MLK or MLK in a biopic, and you're okay with it. Right? No way. No way. So whatever. Just don't do it. Now you know. If you didn't know,
and we're glad that we could provide that education.
100%.
Boom. All right.
We ready?
I think we are.
Okay. So. Go for it.
Okay, so it's the moment that we'll say you all have been waiting for. Maybe it's not. Maybe you just wanted to mess in the first couple of segments. But we are ready to talk about this week's noteworthy artist.
We are.
So this artist came to us back in 2004.
That's right.
With a rather signature sound and just hits. Like straight out the gate. That album, like, every single damn near was like a hit.
That's true.
So that could apply to a couple of people, but we're gonna hone in on who it is. The one and only, the Princess of Crunk and B. Give it up for Ciara.
That's right.
So
Ciara. Yes. Ciara. She actually just had a birthday, didn't she?
She did. I think on the 25th.
Mm-hmm. So happy belated to her.
Yeah, shout out to Super C. We love Super C.
We do. But yeah, so it's so funny because I remember the first time I saw the Goodies music video, and I was like, "Who is this girl?" Like,
she looked like she was from up the street. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Down the street.
Okay. Since they have a budget, guys. Okay, them bundles and them pieces was not hitting. Okay, she was giving me downtown locker room. Baby girl, not baby fat.
No.
But
she's come a long way.
Listen.
She's come a long way.
Give her her tens.
Yeah, exactly. Across the board. But no, Goodies. Goodies had some goodies.
It did.
Yeah.
It did. So I was looking up just some of her stats because I was like genuinely curious. And Goodies is her best-selling album, like worldwide. I think it said it sold about 5 million copies. It's like 3 times platinum in the States alone. Yeah. Which is pretty cool to think about Ciara in that way because Ciara came out. I'm always interested in looking at the women who are still in the game today that came out after Beyonce.
Yeah.
Because there was so many people that were in the game and then they just kind of faded away.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think to be able to like debut after Dangerously in Love
Right.
and to still be able to hold your own,
And
I think it
maintain.
says something.
Right. Exactly.
And I think that Ciara again, she had that signature sound. She had that like
we were excited for her.
We
when
were.
she came out. Yeah.
It was like she filled a void that I don't even think we realized
Right.
was empty.
Mm-hmm.
Like in the music,
and the homegirl thing worked for her.
It
I mean,
did.
she felt like, you know what I'm saying, love whoever down the street.
Right.
You know,
It's
I was just like, yeah,
that's just toy.
Yeah.
But like no, like
Yeah.
that first album though, like I remember buying goodies when it came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember just loving so much of the album.
Yeah.
Of course, like the singles were dope.
Yes.
Except for And I never liked that song.
Yeah, I did. I was gonna say I liked it then, but I would probably listen to it now just out of nostalgia. And not to say that it was the best vocal performance, but I think that for the, I don't know, it was just, I think, it just reminds me of, I don't know, maybe just, because I just remember a whole lot of like my girlfriends, like my female friends just singing it and stuff. I just remember it like, I think that was it. She was somebody that was really for the culture, I think. I think
Legit.
that she really was somebody that people saw it for because she felt attainable. Maybe in the time where, because she did release her album a year after Dangerously in Love, like maybe she just felt more attainable, you know, or just like.
And she was young too.
Yeah.
She was like 18
right.
when that joint dropped. And so I think, like, to your point, I was a high school student. She's like 2 years older than me. So I was like, okay, like, she, like, sis is doing her thing. She's, you know, even before she really, you know, was able to blend, because, you know, with that honey blonde, it just it was not it. And when I tell you, I'm so glad she let that shit go by the second album.
You know what else she was able to do at the very start?
What?
Latched on to some very influential people in the game. So you're talking about Ludacris, you're talking about Missy Elliott, you're talking about Jazzy Faye, all of who were so hot, you know?
Yes.
And
hell,
so,
even Petey Pablo, because I mean, back in 2004, Petey was popping.
Yeah.
We can't say the same in 2018, but Petey was, he was good for a guest verse like that.
Goodies.
Still got milk on your tongue. So no, like, legit, I think that's a really good point. And I think also, I was sitting here thinking in my mind, you know, that crunk sound was very distinguishable, but I also can't recall very many women hopping on crunk beats.
Which was why,
Ciara.
Yeah, that's why she's the princess.
Yeah,
you know?
she did that.
She did, yeah. And so so we have Goodies. We have And I, which you don't really love. 1 2 Step with Missy.
Yes.
O was also on Goodies, right?
Bop.
Yes.
Bop.
Yeah.
Yes,
yeah.
God.
Right.
And I think to the point about And I do think what was good about that, and I see why they released it. I personally would have chosen another song, but I think that they wanted something to show she's not just this girl making the up-tempo joints.
She had some range.
Right.
Yeah.
Which, and thinking about it now, was probably the perfect setup for her to be able to bridge the gap to that second album.
Right.
I mean, even though she had to get up the, you know, kind of like buzz single from the Step Up movie, but you know, to think about her coming back with Promise,
which was another good one, and she was also dancing. You know, she was dancing around.
Dance down, and we hadn't seen that,
right?
Because you know, Beyonce was giving a cute 8 count.
She wasn't dancing then.
No,
she wasn't,
and she won't give the girls Matrix and all of that. Yeah, like Ciara was giving you like street. Like, I'm coming with it. And I don't think we had seen that probably since an Aaliyah or somebody like that. So, yeah, it was definitely time to have somebody step into that space.
Now, you said something about that second album.
I did. So, you ready to transition in?
We can.
My favorite Ciara project.
Oh, my God.
The Evolution. So, let me set the stage for you. I feel like Sophia.
Go for it.
Picture it. The year was 2006. I was but a freshman in college. And I remember, like I said, I remember Get Up being like hot over the summer. But I remember hearing that Come Enjoy the Ride.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my
I was
god.
just like, wait, this is Ciara? Like, it, even though, like I said, we got a glimpse, because she has some slower mid tempo joints on the first album, but nothing about the first album was overtly sexual.
Yeah.
You get to Promise, it's like, oh, she done grown up. Like,
and I did too in that moment.
Okay, listen. I said, "Ooh, I'm feeling myself now."
Right.
Too.
I remember me, and so like we had.
Don't tell on yourself now.
I know exactly. No, me and my sister and my cousin. Shout out to both of y'all when y'all hear this. There was this. So with the album, she released like this DVD. I think it was like a Walmart exclusive or whatever.
She did.
Where she did like some choreo. So she did like the Promise choreo and taught like the choreography and stuff like that. So I may know the entire music
She's
video.
amazing.
But
that's awesome.
But I love that song. And even today, I love that song because of the production of the song.
Yes.
Yeah, it's just a great song. It's just a great record. It really, really is. And it was one of many on Evolution. Because
one of many.
And, I mean, we talked about this last week with Usher, how deep cuts can really make an album, you know?
Yes.
And just thematically, I love an album with a theme.
Agreed.
And I don't know, she just did it, you know?
Right. For her to, because besides Goodies, the Evolution is her second best selling project. Right. And not that sales or anything to go by, because again, I think it's her seminal work.
Yeah. Which do you think is more popular?
Oh, I think it's a matter of who you ask.
Yeah. I think maybe mainstream is Goodies, but I think people who really know Ciara.
Well, so actually, I feel like it might be Evolution, because Evolution has aged better.
It has. It really has.
You know what I mean? Like, you could put on Promise right now. Right. Like, you could put on Goodies, but I feel like you almost had to be a teenager. Like, you had to be around for that moment. Whereas I think that the Evolution just, it ushered her to the mainstream.
It did.
And I think that it really did some things in terms of letting people know that Ciara is like,
I know,
here.
It starts off every time he calls. I know, but
this time I think about me.
That's right.
And what I need.
That's right.
So that I'm doing me. That's right. And I'm a hot butt.
And Lil Jon too. Lil Jon's on that one. And so in this era, because that, 2004 was year also going into this 2006 with Evolution. Being the princess of Crunk and B and all that other stuff, she knew who to work with. She knew what worked for her. She must have had a really good team that just knew what was gonna work, because Like a Boy, that even and the music video and all of that, it's
well done. Yeah. Like, and I do think that it's funny you brought up the video, because I was thinking that her visuals stepped up a lot.
Yeah, from
between that first and second album.
Her bundles did too.
Okay, listen.
Because I remember in the Promise video, she looked amazing.
Yeah, it was like she went from Girl Next Door to like,
right. Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, but legit. But I think, in getting into this album, like you said, it was just a thematic project, but all the pieces fit. And I feel like we were talking about this as well, just about album links and what constitutes a good right. And I will say that album ran a little long, but it didn't feel like very many, if any, moments were wasted. The interludes fit perfectly. The sequencing, I'm big on sequencing.
Right, yeah.
The sequencing was impeccable.
Let's talk 2 or 3 deep cuts that we really enjoyed.
Oh,
off of Evolution.
Okay, so number 1, I would have to say Crush.
Yes.
I love that
Oh
song.
my God! Can we pull up the track list really quickly
We
because
definitely can't. See, I'm
I was
prepared this
thinking
week.
of. Oh my God! I was thinking of some other song. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pick two or three. Now
I
that I think
know. I was
about
gonna
it.
say, so you didn't ask me, cause I'm thinking. Okay, so if I gotta give it 2 to 3,
Yeah.
I'm gonna say Crush,
Yes.
I Proceed,
Yes.
and Bang
Bang
It
it
Up.
up. Yeah.
I love that song.
I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna agree with you, and then I'm gonna give "Make It Last" my honorable mention because I love a good sample, and I love that sample. You know.
Yes.
And you're right. I wanna rock. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah, that was
also.
good.
I mean, we completely. That moment she had with 50 Cent for that hot second.
I was never here for it.
I know. Also, oh my God. Side note, she dated Bow Wow. We don't have to talk about that, but also I ain't never had nobody show me. Y'all know that you don't show me. Shout out to the chromatic scale.
Listen.
That's all it took.
Listen.
And I mean, everybody was on that song. We don't have to play these games.
No,
but,
right. Okay, that was my ringtone for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll hold you. But no, but yeah, I mean, it was just a very well put together album, and so that's why it's kind of like shocking where things went next.
Yeah.
And with Ciara, she's somebody that I've asked in my friend circles, my music conversation circles for a while now, like, at what point did the public by and large say, oh no, we good? Like, because she was pretty consistent about putting music out. Because even when she wasn't releasing her own stuff, she was collabing with people. But then, okay, she comes out with Evolution 06, but it's December 06. So she really was able to ride the album through 07. Yeah. And then like around fall 08, she like hits us with the single Go Girl. Yeah. And the video. Now, I thought that the song and definitely the visual was on brand, was on point. It sounded like a Ciara track. Okay. I thought that she did a good job with the video. The video was dope. It had some sickening moves in it. But I don't know, like, because it was just kind of like that single went nowhere. And now the thing about it is she had T-Pain on that song. Right. And then she was on a track on T-Pain's album, the Three Rings album that came out around that time. I remember. Which I feel like...
I liked that song. I still do.
Right. I feel like that was around the time that T-Pain was kind of starting to fizz out too. So I don't know if like they kind of like residually...
Three Rings... People really liked Three Rings, I think.
That's what I thought, but then it kind of like... It wasn't too far after.
That might have been his last big project, but it was a big project.
Right. So, I don't know. So, then maybe Ciara had her slide first. Yeah, and
I think so.
It's kind of part of it.
And I think also, so that single was one thing, but then the next albums were not.
Well, not really. But because she went back to the drawing board so many times because we got...
She did these things. And maybe it wasn't musically, but at least with her style. I mean, I think about the cover art for Fantasy Ride, and I'm just like, what?
It looks so
what was going on here?
It looks so cartoonish.
Like, what happened?
Well, you know the original story behind the Fantasy Ride album, though, right?
I think maybe you've told me this.
Maybe because I think we looked at this together.
We did.
So for those in the audience who don't know, Fantasy Ride was initially conceived to be like a concept album, and it was gonna have like 4 different parts to it, where you got like the Promise Like jams, but then you had like the Get Up type jams, the Goodies type jams. So I think it was like Crunk City. She had names for it. If you go on YouTube, you can actually look up the promo for it. That promo video looked very 2008. It's giving me She by Sheree tees. Right. But so yeah, but the girls was like, when Beyonce ended up doing I Am Sasha Fierce in fall 2008, it kind of like pulled the rug from under her. So I mean, as the queen is known to do, but at the same time, like the idea of a concept album or like a double album or something isn't new. It doesn't belong
exactly,
to
and it doesn't belong to
Beyonce.
Beyonce. Yeah.
So I don't understand why why her team went back to the table. I don't know. Maybe they also just weren't confident.
It also didn't seem like a great concept, to be completely honest.
I thought it was kind of, something.
Okay. But okay, so on Fantasy Ride, the only song two, I think. Okay. The songs that I know on Fantasy Ride: Love, Sex, and Magic with Justin Timberlake, which I enjoyed that song. I enjoyed the music video. I thought that was good. Big
single for her,
right?
Too.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. Work is also on that album.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, what I will say about that is, I think when they retooled the album and because they kept pushing it back, it finally came out like May of 2009. I think that they left too much filler on the album.
It's almost all filler.
Okay, don't do that.
Okay.
Maybe it kind of is. It could have been an EP.
Yeah.
But you think about like songs like Ciara to the Stage.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That is true.
Love, Sex, and Magic is good. She could have kept High Price, because the lyrics are just dumb. Turntables with Chris Brown wasn't bad. Like a Surgeon. Mm-hmm. I hated Never Ever, but it grew on me. Yeah, this project could have been like a strong 8 tracks.
Right. Mm-hmm. And there is no. I mean, Tori Kelly's album is 8 tracks. There's no shame in that.
But I don't think that labels were on that.
Yeah, you're right.
Then,
you're right.
You know what I mean?
You're right. Basic Instinct. Proper title. Love My Girl C.
I was gonna say again with this album,
but also
she had some tracks on.
She did. Ride was a moment.
I thought she was on her way back with Ride.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, I see you giving us the video. You looking good, but then the video ended up getting like bans on BET. Yeah. I was like, now y'all let a lot of shit through. How y'all gonna do my girl
credit card slide through ass cheek for doing what?
Listen.
All right, BET.
I'm sick of them.
Okay. All right.
And we can't blame Jubilee for that one because I don't think she was there yet. But that was a mess.
Now remind me, did Gimme That come out before or after Ride?
It came out after.
I remember because it wasn't as good. I remember being like, oh, this is her making her way back, and then I've been gone. You know, like.
But the choreography, the video.
No, I mean, of course, she's gonna dance. You're
right.
She's gonna like.
You're right. But also remember too, though. I'm sorry, you.
No, that's it.
But also remember too, though, that she had released a couple of like that song "Speechless."
Yeah.
Was like released. Did that come out before Ride even?
I don't even know.
I don't know, but like I remember liking that song, but I thought she had released like another song or two before she put out Ride and Give Me That. Maybe not. I mean, so with
the next. So I guess what I'm trying to say, the next few albums, because if you go back, the next few albums gave me singles and not, actual holistic projects. I really liked what I heard and what came out as singles, but on the whole, we're not talking about like solid bodies of work.
Very true. And I think it's because they didn't know what to leave on the cutting room floor and what to include. Yeah. Like I said this about Ciara. I think I said it about, it might have been Janet. Mm-hmm. Like those albums that Janet released between All For You and maybe Discipline. Mm-hmm. So it would have been Tamita Joe, 20YO, and you maybe could even include Discipline. If she took the best from each of those and just put on one album,
right? That's a
fire.
And honestly, there were moments throughout all of Ciara's eras where it was just like, yes, because Body Party is next. With the self-titled album that she had with Ciara. Mm-hmm. But I remember how I felt. I remember how that song made me feel.
Right.
Like, I remember loving that song so much because I also the sample. It's just like a sample will get me every time, and a well done
I was gonna say
sample.
right, and it was just so well done, and like that's always been like one of those songs that people love.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I 100%
Yeah.
agree. So it's interesting because what I don't think some people know is that again, it was like after the evolution, she kind of hit a series of start stops with every era.
Yeah.
So with the Ciara album, that actually started a year earlier in 2012, and it was supposed to be called One Woman Army.
Okay.
And it was she had a single with 2 Chainz called Sweat, which I kind of dug because it was,
I don't think I remember this.
well, let's say, well, I have to play it for you after we finish. But she had this song with 2 Chainz. She actually had another song too called "Got Me Good," which was kind of like, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't no shit she need to put out. But the song with 2 Chainz I thought was pretty decent.
Okay.
But then the next thing you know, like that whole era kind of went quiet. And I do think that in the midst of this, she went through some label changes.
Okay.
And so that of course always can throw a monkey
Exactly.
wrench in the plans. But
she also met somebody during this time.
And she got 4 locks and got what's it called? Initiated into a harem of baby mamas. It was.
I remember. I don't know why I think Future was not who he is, or at least we didn't know Future was who he was. I remember being excited for her that she had met. Like I remember because the music video. Although we can take a pause because do you remember the music video where they're having the conversation and she said something about like, oh, you noticed me, and what he says to her is, "You're not hard to miss." So
that ninja,
and I understand that double negatives confuse some people sometimes, but it's just like, was there nobody that heard that and thought, oh wait, let me,
that's not that flattering.
That's not right. It's actually not flattering at all. And then you know what I'm saying, and she has a kid with this man. You know what I'm saying, little baby Future.
Yes. I just remember doing that whole like onset of that relationship. It was one of those situations where she talked so much about him being her king and how in love she was.
I think I believed
like, oh
it.
God, please don't let this end horribly. Because I just feel like Ciara has never given us a reason to think she isn't a good person.
Right.
And we talked about her seeming like our homegirl from up the street. So
I have always wanted to see it for her, even if I didn't. I've always wanted
the
to
desire
see it.
was always
exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I think to that point, it was just like I just want her to win. Like she just seemed like she's real sweet. She don't be bothering nobody. So we all know how that went. And I mean, I think that a part of it, I remember him talking about it later, was him like not being too pleased. Yeah, Future. Not being pleased with kind of the direction she was going in musically because he felt like they did a lot of good with this project. And I was like, I mean, Future, you had a bop or two, but let's not do too much and act like this was her freaking like PA's Theory Stone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like this isn't like the crown jewel of her discography. Now, what they did get right, the length. Okay, because she's giving you 11 tracks,
and that's right. I was about to say,
and that's about as much of Ciara as we really need. You know
at
what
this
I'm saying?
point,
right? And so they got that right. Now, where they messed up was, I don't think "I'm Out" should have been the second single.
Okay, I think they did that.
Because
of Nicki.
And Nicki was like real popping right then. And I mean, like the song is cute for what it is. I just don't think it should have been a second single. There also was just way too much time between Body Party being hot and like spring of 2013 and then this album not dropping till July.
Yes.
You know what I mean? It's just, and that's something about Ciara and Kelly Rowland, to bring somebody else into the conversation. That's something about both of them that really always grinds my gears. Like, and I don't necessarily blame them, but their team, whomever. If you are one of those artists that doesn't always get that breakout single or stuff like that, when you got a moment, you gotta seize it.
Wow, this is I'm
you
gonna save this for every few minutes.
Like you really do.
When we talk about this era now that she's going through right now.
Oh.
But before we get to that, I mean, so what Jackie I think
was next,
and it was supposed to be. So the thing about Jackie, you look at the album cover, you look at
she looks
I
great.
Bet, no, yeah, but you look at I Bet as the first single. I was expecting like a stripped down. I've just gone through this really bad breakup. I have a kid. Like I was expecting kind of like a raw Ciara, or more raw, I guess.
It's funny you said stripped because I was thinking Christina Aguilera stripped.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you think about like an album that like showcases vulnerability, that still give you like good tracks and stuff like that. And I mean, and the reason I'm making a connection between the two is because I even like the posing topless on the cover.
That says to me, I mean, it's exposed. I mean, it's supposed to be representative of that.
Absolutely. And I think she had moments. But I also think that. So here's something I do feel about Ciara, and I think that this is what got her off track. The more I think about it in this moment, you notice when she started out, I said she had a very recognizable sound. Like she knew who she was as an artist.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that you're not able to evolve. And we kind of touched on this last week with Usher. You get to evolve, but at the same time, it isn't coming upon the artist one to always be able to articulate and maintain their voice in whatever projects they're doing, music or not. But then also to make sure that you do take the best elements of your sound, and incorporate them into where you've grown to artistically.
But I think maybe when she first came out, she fit into a sound, and it was hard for her to step out and find her own because obviously crunk wasn't what was up in 2013. So she, and even before that. So I think that she was constantly and is constantly trying to find who she is as an artist and what she's supposed to sound like. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, so this kind of leads us into this new era of Ciara. Well, first of all, she got herself a new man that, you know what I'm saying?
God.
And he loves the Lord. And that makes me really happy because she deserves a man that just like God-fearing. I'm gonna bring you flowers at the end of your show. Like I'm not even looking at any other women.
I ain't lying to you.
That's just what she deserves because she's such a sweet girl, and it's like they have these kids now, and you can tell that like she deserves like a Carlton Banks, because that's gonna be a good one, and maybe more of us should want that, maybe we should be chasing whoever it is that we decide.
Fucking Future. Right. Okay, it's funny that you're chasing a nigga named Future and it won't give you much of one. Okay, but just marinate on that for all those that it apply to. But I remember thinking like after that whole very public, because it's just when you have a relationship that's so public. Of course, the breakup becomes very public. Right. And then he also was just very nasty in the way he talked about her on Dirty Sprite 2, even though I kind of go up for that album. But he was just it was just very disgusting. And so I just remember really thinking like, damn, I really hope that my girl CeCe really just gets back to where she needs to be, because people also seem to think that Ciara gained a lot from her relationship with Future. When I think to the point you just made a few moments ago, Ciara was the bigger artist when they got together. Like, Future had done some things musically. We ain't gonna take that away from him. But let's not act like Mama came up.
He did not put her on at all.
Not in the least bit.
In the least.
So that was always interesting to me. But, to the point of her meeting and being with Russell Wilson, which also I think that was great because I know he came out of a pretty interesting marriage or something like that before her. Yeah. So I was glad that they found each other, and that they, we are getting, I think, with the music that she's been releasing.
Exactly.
I think we're getting a more confident Ciara,
Right.
a woman who's more self assured. I think that we're getting a return to form,
Right.
and a return to form with updated elements to the
Yes.
sound, and I think like that is what
Exactly.
we've been looking for this whole
Exactly.
time.
I'm really, 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 really excited about this era for Ciara because all three singles that she's released, I love all of them.
I do
You
too.
know, so with Level Up, with that being the first one, a lot of people didn't like the sample. I didn't mind it. I think you know what I'm saying. Some people don't like the, yummy in your tongue, like whatever.
I mean,
I don't,
juvenile,
right.
but we'll
Also,
take it.
That was probably Russell's idea. Or like Baby Futures. Like we're just gonna let that be what it is. But what you cannot deny is that the song will go up in the club. It will give you dope choreo videos. Like she herself, that is a performing song for her, and that is who she is as an artist. She is a performer. She's a dancer.
Yes.
So the song can be simple, and she can just have because what she needs is because she doesn't have all that vocal power. She needs a song where she can say the same thing over and over again, and then give you the dance. And maybe have the track play while she's breaking it down, giving you the dance, giving you all that stuff. So that's, and then of course, Fat Man Scoop, Missy come on the remix. I love the fact that Missy has been someone that has just been with Ciara throughout her entire career.
I concur.
Like that's just a really great thing, and I think that
because Missy was even on the Jackie album.
Yeah, right.
On one of the songs that should have been a single, but I ain't gonna go back to that era.
But so she does that, and she does "Freak Me," which I love because I love
that song.
But I really, really like Afro beats. Like I just really, that's a genre of music that I think maybe people wouldn't know unless I said it. But like often, like I love like Davido. I love like Tiwa Savage. I love like what's that boy's name? I just love
like
that
Movado
genre of music. Yeah, Movado.
I don't really listen to a lot of
exactly Fuse. Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, so maybe a playlist.
No, I
Share
will.
your playlist.
I will. But yeah, that's another great song.
And then you get to Dose. Now,
Now, Dose I love, especially because I was in marching band during high school, so I'm in middle school. And it was very much like the high step in, HBCU style, all that type of thing. Right. And so when I see that, and I heard, when you hear the song, of course, it's influenced by that, but then all of the visuals that she's been releasing. Right. And it was whoever's on her team did a good job because, she releases all of this stuff in time for homecoming season. Right. When it's like, bands are going to be playing it, like people are going to be marching to it and people are going to want to hear it,
Yes. That, I think like you hit on a point that I was just talking about. It just feels like this era, her camp, and probably I would say even her, because I think to a degree, I think every artist gets to a point where they really have to assume ownership of what's going on. Like they have to direct some things. They have to tell people no, now, not later. And it feels like maybe she's reached that point because it does seem like everything has been very calculated and very like. Who I wouldn't have thought at the top of the year that Ciara would have been performing at the American Music Awards this year.
No one would have thought.
You know what I'm saying? And killed it. Right. One of the best performances of the night. And so I think that everything just seems like is falling into place. So I just want to knock on some wood and pray that keeps going.
Because I need that. I just really like we said before, you always want her to win. Exactly. You always want her to win. And I really, 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 really want this to be a great album era for Ciara. I might go see her in a show. If she keeps doing what she's doing. Honestly,
I mean, if she's a part of a festival, I ain't paying for just no Ciara ticket. I ain't gonna
it's not gonna be that expensive.
I mean,
you seeing Ashanti, but you're not seeing Ciara.
Damn.
Okay.
But Ciara, okay, damn, you right.
So let me ask you this. really quickly because I guess I just had the thought and no one's really said it. So maybe I'm just being overly protective of her. So I think about Doth. I think about the visuals that she's been dropping. And I'm hoping that she's not getting comparisons to like the Coachella Beyonce performance. And maybe she's not. But I think that both can exist in different spaces. You know, I think that they're doing something that is similar but also very different. And so I don't. If there is anyone out there saying that Ciara's a biter, kiss my ass because she's like. I think that she's also able to do something with that thematically that maybe perhaps Beyonce can't. Like Beyonce's gonna give you a spectacle. She's gonna give you an over the top, you know, the outfits or whatever, you know, whatever. But like, so if Beyonce is the drum major, then Ciara is the dance captain. You know, and there's room for both of those people, like for essentially going up for both of those people. You know,
right? Well, I think to that point too, and I was just having a watershed moment over here that I'll share in a second. But the difference is that Beyonce is going to give you Beyonce is going to give you the polish. Okay, like it looked watching that Coachella performance at home, and I can only imagine you sitting in person, you lucky Negro. But like immaculate, it looked like a movie. Yeah, right. Ciara, what she's giving you is
grassroots.
We're not. Yeah. Right. Yeah. It's a level of grit to it. Like, did you see the video where she did like the pep rally out the street? Yeah. I was like, yo, that is so fucking dope. Because again, it's taking me back to Ciara in the 1-2 step video when she's in the street dancing with the kids. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? B5, oddly enough. Not the B5. I know, right? That's she that music video. I give it over to God. But yes. Your point about Ciara and Beyonce comparison, it didn't even dawn on me.
Well, that's good. That's good.
But that answers one of my biggest questions because I would, or not a question, but really when I heard Dose, I was like, okay, Ciara, she didn't give out this pep rally in the street, but this ain't the official video. I was like, yo, like the first time I heard it, I was like, HBCU. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like this needs to be, and she's from the A, or you know what I'm saying, claims the A, so I was like, oh, she could get her a nasty little like spread of like the HBCUs down there, film something in a stadium, like
they do the Battle of the Bands down there every year.
Like, you know, something sickening. Yeah. But I was thinking for the video.
Oh, for the video.
But now that you bring up the point about a potential Beyonce comparison, I can see maybe why she decided not to go that route.
Exactly.
I think that was smart on her part.
This is what I need. If there is anyone listening to this right now who is a good mixer, who does like DJing, who does any of that stuff, or knows someone, I just need to hear this before the end of my days. I need a good mix, a good mashup of Dose by Ciara, Lose My Breath by Destiny's Child. Just put that together, give me a nice little 3.5, 4 minute bop, and just send that. I mean, write us a note at gmail.com. Just, you know, just send that my way.
And we'll play it on the next episode.
And look, I will just be forever grateful. But yeah, Ciara.
Yeah, that would be dope. Yeah. That would be so freaking dope. Okay, so speaking of things that you need, one of kind of like my questions is, we've talked around it, but what are two, I'll say 2, maybe 3 at the most, things that you really need to see out of this next project, like this era for Ciara? Like,
cohesion. Ooh, I just need for it to make sense. I need for it to be. And I mean, all 3 of her singles are different, but I just need for the album to be a cohesive project. I think that all 3 of those singles can exist on the same album.
For sure.
You know, just depending on how it looks.
Absolutely.
And what's going on. So just that. And then the second thing, I don't know. I mean, I just want it to be good quality. You know, like I want it, and there's something to be said. You know, if she could give me 9 to 11 tracks, you know, of just like they don't even all have to be bangers. Honestly, we can take another slow. You know, if you give me another promise or something, which I mean, Freak Me is close, but like if you want to like slow it down, you can do that too. Like, just give
Yes.
me what we were seeing in the beginning. Give me range. Give me
Sequencing.
sequencing. Give me something that feels like you, but leveled up.
I agree. Oh my gosh, I agree. So answering my own question, I definitely in addition to the things that you mentioned, I just want to continue seeing the energy.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
again, Ciara is at her best when she's performing, and I think that a lot of people couldn't really like people listen to I bet, but that that's not a Ciara lead single, even for
Yeah.
being on the slower side.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like so with where she is now with this era, I just really want to continue to see the energy, to continue to see her be able to like dance and have fun with
Right.
it. I definitely want to continue seeing the intriguing like visuals. The
Right.
videos have been good. The dancing has been stellar. So just keep on in that direction. I also feel like she's taking different risks too
Yeah,
right now.
I agree.
It was even cool to see her. Just today, I think Vogue released a video of her showing like choreography from the Dose video.
Nice.
So just like seeing her do stuff like that
Yeah.
and continue to give us like those like peeks into who she is, I think will really help. But what I really also want to see is just some dope features.
Okay.
I want that Janet collaboration.
Okay.
There's no reason why at this
They
point,
shouldn't be collaborating.
like I
Okay.
need just a sickening,
Yeah, I would love that. Honestly,
high energy
I would love that.
Janet Ciara song.
Yeah.
Like Missy fucking produce it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mean, or we can get somebody else, but like you know, just Missy seem to know what she's doing, especially with those two.
Right.
So I would love that.
I would love that too.
And I guess if I'm giving one more thing, I'm giving more than three. But I think to the point of cohesion, I want to see cohesion in terms of the rollout. Okay. I want to see a well executed rollout.
Yeah, and I think that's maybe part of what I meant too.
Like
and what you were saying earlier about releasing singles and then waiting like months to release it. No, whatever she's gonna do, she needs to do it soon.
Before the end of the year.
Right.
Legit.
Do it, Ciara.
And I think that she probably will.
Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. All right, Ciara. Well, we're rooting for you, girl.
Love to her.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So yeah, that wraps up our noteworthy section. So what we're gonna move into now is our run that back. So I'm gonna make this quick, but intentional.
Okay.
So
I love intentionality.
Masego. You know who Masego is?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've heard of him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's an artist. He does. So what I really love about is particularly his last album that just came out, maybe a few months or weeks ago. It's called Lady Lady.
Oh.
And you can tell it's heavily jazz influenced, which I love. You know, like my dad raised me on, you know, John Coltrane and Miles Davis, Thelonious Monk, like all of those people. And so I just love that type of instrumentation. You know, there's like sax all through it, you know, and like it just feels like a nice mix of jazz and R&B. But there's a song on that album called Black Love. And
come on, Masego.
First of all, just what he's talking about, you know. So basically, he's just like so the song essentially just like praises this woman that he's with, you know, a black woman, and just how beautiful their love is, and he says in one part of it, one day we'll create extensions in the images of we. So like I was just like, first of all, that like who wrote that?
Right.
Like who wrote that? Like you're basically just saying I want to have kids with you, but like the way that he says
so
it,
poetic.
Yeah, it's really poetic, and really beautiful. And also, black love is a beautiful thing, and it's not praised enough. And also, black women aren't praised enough. And so it's just like all of this is just so wonderful.
Y'all.
And then the music is it's simple also. It's maybe like a 6 measure refrain that's just looped over and over and over again. And also the melody is repetitive, but it's beautiful. Like you could just, it's like, it creates this imagery. Like you were saying, how you were saying last week that throwback kind of reminds me of a movie. It's like, it is. It's thematic. So yeah, Black Love by Masego. Listen to that track. And then the whole album too.
Okay. I can't wait to delve into that because, like, you got me hyped.
Yeah.
And I do think that the point that you raised, like, there is a beauty in simplicity. And I hope that more artists figure that out.
Right.
Because a lot of times we just end up with a lot of overproduced bullshit on the radio. You know, if I'm going to be quite honest. But, so my run it back this week ties into the Jeremiah and Ty Dolla $ign album, which I'm guessing is pronounced My Time.
Okay.
Because Jeremiah dash Ty.
Yeah, My Time. Yeah.
Okay, so.
And like the drink.
For some reason, I wanted to think Mighty, but I was like, no, that ain't it. So My Time. Right, like the drink. Interesting, gentlemen. But no, they have a song called New Level.
Yeah.
And if you follow me on Snapchat, you saw my little video the other night.
I do follow you, but I'll look at your snaps.
Listen, when we leave here. That joint, I love that song. It has a really dope sample in it.
Okay. Don't give
I'm
me
not
too
gonna
much.
Get it. I like to operate under air of mystery. But there's a really dope sample, and I've always preferred this version of the song that is sampled.
Okay.
But yeah, it's just a really good song. Like, and speaking of their album, this is like my last little thing. I can't talk about their project without just giving Young Berg, aka Hitmaker, just a little smidge of credit, because when I say that dude knows how to reinvent himself and just heat. Yeah. I think he did. If he didn't produce the whole album, he produced the vast majority, and it's just like every joint is a bop.
He produced. So Jeremiah came out with an EP a little while ago. He produced a song on there.
Was it the Valentine's?
Yeah. Called "Play Your Cards Right," and that's another sample. It sample, I wanna ride with you, baby.
Oh, come on, Bobby.
And so yeah, exactly. So if you listen to it, just listen to it. I'll send you the link.
Please. Yeah. Yeah, no. So shout out to Hitmaker. And shout out to My Time. But yes, New Level. Check it out. Write me on social media once you figure out. I mean, it's gonna be real easy to figure out the sample. But just let us know your thoughts. Like, we would love to hear your thoughts after you check out either While You Were, an artist that we talk about in the While You Were Sleeping section, or someone we bring up in the Run That Back. So again, write us a note at gmail.com.
As always. Yeah. So we're excited to hear from you guys. You know, we answered a letter earlier. Hopefully you all will send more our way. You know, if you're following us on social media, make sure that you look out for the posts that we'll be doing throughout the week, and different polls, and asking you some questions about how you're feeling about this new Ciara era. And, you know, I don't know. We're excited to hear from you guys.
Absolutely.
And keep this thing rolling. So.
And you can find us on Instagram at OTN_podcast.
Yes.
And you can find us on SoundCloud by going to OTN Podcast. Or looking up On That Note Podcast. Yeah. Same thing with YouTube. We're excited to be back at it. Hopefully you all enjoy this episode as well.
All right.
Tell a couple of friends.
We will see you all next time. Take care.
Peace.
Oh, that wasn't bad.
And remember, this is
with all that stuff. Look at that. Look at us.
Yes, we did.
All right.
Let me save this audio.
Oh my god.
Save project as.
Yep. Still recording.